This podcast was brought to you by Uncle Geeb Productions. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the Geeb Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is Host Media Gaming. Record this podcast live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no longer Thursdays. Listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you can listen to podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm going to start the show with a 5-star review right now. 5 stars from Sea Starch. Don't know who that is. So amazing. So amazing. Another 5-star review from not Uncle Geeb. I love this podcast. Is the GOAT. 5-star reviews. Thank you guys for leaving your 5 stars review. Now, that's me and Drip. We posted those in July 9th of 2021.
Wow. I don't remember doing that.
I'm going to read a couple more here, but that tells you how low we are with 5-star reviews, that 2 of them are not us. But
that's
come on, guys.
Not me. I don't know.
Come
who that
on,
guy
guys.
is.
We need some more. We got some real ones here. We got one from the real Captain Olimar. This is going to be a good one. What are you waiting for? This podcast feels very organic with the chemistry Drip and Geeb have together. They're very charming with banter. I lost my thing here. But with banter gone between the two. I suck at this. I'm sorry. It's not only entertaining, but also informative on the latest Nintendo news every week. Not a Nintendo news podcast. One could also say that there's an unexplainable vibe that makes it totally worth the listen. 5 stars, Captain Olimar, the real Captain Olimar. Thank you. And we'll be more later.
That was a good review.
Let's get one more. Kyle Garrett, aka KG. Drip and Geeb, bring the goods. I love listening to Drip and Geeb discuss all things gaming. Love their takes on things. They're entertaining and funny. Those reviews happened in 2021 and 2022. Again, we need more reviews, guys. So we got a few more here, more recent ones, but we need more reviews. So make sure to go to Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star review. And whatever you put in it, I will read, including if it says how awful we are, as long as there's 5 stars. And I'll follow all community guidelines. This podcast, blah, 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 blah. Enter thing here with long text and long reading thing. Drip, how you doing this week?
I'm doing fantastic. Doing just wonderful. My trash people took a big thing for free, so that was great. We told that story already. But other than that, new Taylor Swift album. That's cool.
Favorite song from the Taylor Swift album?
The one that's called Fortnite, the first one on the album with
nice.
What's his name?
That one dropped
Post
a while
Malone.
ago, right? I definitely have to listen to that one. I'm a Post Malone fan, so I'll definitely
he sounds pretty good. He's not like featured prominently in it, but he's in there. Yeah, he's in it.
Good for him.
I think they put a video out for that today too.
I don't know what happened to Post Malone. I feel like he's tailed off in terms of releasing content. I hope he's like okay in his personal life and stuff, but he has not posted. He has. Well, who am I? He's not made content in a while. So I kind of the one album that blew up is one I first listened to, and I love it. I forget what the album's called, but it's that one that blew up.
I'm not sure what he's doing. I mean, he fixed whatever the problem was. He just put out a song with Taylor Swift. So I mean.
Yeah, good on him.
Probably going to do a lot for him, honestly.
Hopefully.
Look what it did for Travis Kelce. Right?
Yeah, totally. He wasn't completely utterly famous on his own.
Nobody even knew what the NFL was.
Yeah, not once, not ever.
Now look at the NFL. They're doing great.
Speaking of things that are doing great, Drip, Nintendo.
Oh no.
Not so great, actually. I was a lie. But what is positive, Drip? We did get an Indie Direct, so let's talk about that for just a couple minutes here. Okay. I think we got a lot of good games. Honestly, they're again. You need to take your expectations, people, and skew them.
Yeah,
because this is an Indie Direct, not a full Nintendo Direct. So I think there was a ton of good games. I don't think there was a bad game in the Indie Direct, honestly.
They all look pretty good. I agree. I mean, the ones obviously we wanted to see. Silk Song, not there. I thought this was it for sure. Like, had to be.
Doesn't it make sense? Doesn't it make sense that Silk Song was going to be there? I mean, number one, the biggest thing, time. It's been so much time since we've heard anything from Silk Song.
When it's got the rating. It's got the rating and stuff. Like, that seemed like, okay, because that's kind of the order these things happen. We see stuff go through the ratings boards, whatever, and then whatever the next event is, whatever that was, is usually there. Not all the time. Because we saw the same thing with like that Batman trilogy for the Switch, and then it never showed up. But then it did eventually. I don't know. I mean, there was other stuff. We got Little Kitty Big City.
Oh, yeah.
Release date.
Hell yeah. What is the release date on that?
The release date on that is May 9th.
Well, good. That is in a month, less than a month from now.
Less than a month. I'm definitely going to get that one. See, and that's the thing. That's what's cool about this Indie Direct. And I know we talked about this earlier. This is a pretty good one. There's actually games that are coming out that I want to play. I haven't wanted to play my Switch in quite some time.
Honestly, Mrs. Geeb and I felt the same way recently because we went to go play. She was going to go play something, and I was playing something for stream, and I had realized all my controllers are dead. Besides the Joy-Cons, right, the attached. Yeah. Everything was dead. I grabbed the Pro. We have 3 Pro controllers, including the Zelda one. All 3 of them were dead.
Yeah, and the like, Pro controllers that hold that can be used for 40 hours. 40 hours of battery life.
Yeah. That's usable battery life. Standby is forever.
Oh, I know what
they
to say.
I mean, dead.
Same thing here. I know that Pro controller's dead. Guarantee it. I mean, even the stuff I'm streaming right now. All of it's either on PlayStation or Wii U playing
me too,
Twilight
man.
Princess.
Same for me. Helldivers is on PC.
Oh, man, Helldivers.
We had a lot of...
This is not about that, but dude, Helldivers.
But let's plug the fact that Drip and I are streaming on Twitch again pretty consistently. And we have an amazing schedule, I think, set up where, every night of the week, except for Sunday, there is a live stream happening. Starting on Mondays with Mrs. G Mondays on my Twitch. Tuesdays, Zelda time with Drip. He's playing Twilight Princess right now. Wednesdays are our show, of course. Thursdays are Zelda night for me. So right now I'm playing some Breath of the Wild DLC, finishing that up because I have not finished that since it came out, which is crazy in itself, and trying to finish that up. And Fridays, Fortnite Friday every other week. And then that Drip's going to do something else on Fridays. I don't think you've exactly decided what that's going to be, but that's your day, though. Friday's your day.
Kind of thinking about playing Helldivers after the podcast. So,
we playing. I thought we were doing Zelda, but okay, good. Helldivers, I'm down. I'm fucking down. Saturdays, I'm playing Helldivers on Saturdays. So
yeah, we got that's cool. I'm glad we're back to doing that.
Yeah, make sure links are down below, guys. Make sure to follow us over there. And I know our buddy Johnny, who's been on the show a couple times. I know he's been deciding. He did some TikTok streams. I know he wants to play on Twitch again, so I'll shout him out real fast because we have not shouted his Twitch before. So make sure to follow him on Twitch. Because we might be playing.
Yeah, I followed him on Twitch. He's got like 4,000 followers. My
guy is all over the place. It's the Philly magic, bro.
Crazy.
But he may or may not join us at some point for some games on streams as well. So and of course the other likely usuals like Chess and Shibby and all those people. Yeah. But anyway, you guys know we're back on the internet. We're back last
Little Kitty. So. Little Kitty, Big City. Good one.
I want to mention Drip Stitch was shadow dropped.
Yeah, you have that, right?
And I have it. I was playing a lot of it before the show here. It's fun, man. It's just a little puzzle game. If you haven't seen it, it's just a little puzzle game. They call it a handmade embroidery, or it's a puzzle game about handmade embroidery. So if you ever played a color by number, which if you were a child at one point, you probably have done a color by number. But anyway, it's just kind of matching up colors. In this case, stitching with the number and making a project out of it. So that was a really cool one. Nice little bedtime, nighttime game kind of situation. Anything else?
And the Turtles game.
Drip? Of course.
It's
TMNT Splinter's Fate.
It looks decent. I mean, it's kind of like you know what's funny about it, and this is gonna sound dumb, but like I always wondered like what the Ninja Turtle the way they looked in the Fortnite skins. I'm like, those are like original takes on the Turtles, but it kind of looks like these. The Shredder, for sure. It's like the same exact one. Turtles, not so much, but you told me earlier, it's the first I even knew about this. This game's on Apple Arcade. Is it anywhere else besides that?
Your Discord told me about it. I think it was Coca Baby or somebody in there was telling us that this game's been on Apple Arcade for a while, and it's now getting a Switch port.
I mean, it looks cool. Honestly, it looks very interesting. It looks like it's got some deep mechanics. I mean, I'm down with this one. When does it come out?
Soon. Very soon. I think, it's soon. So July. I mean, it's like not quite as soon as some of the other ones, but yeah, it's coming. It's on its way. That should be a little fun. A little dungeon crawler type game. Any other games you found interesting?
You talked about Stitch. That looked cool. I mean, I don't know. There was a bunch of other ones. There's lots of stuff that looked good. The whole thing. I mean,
But again, reiterate what wasn't there is kind of the. While I think this was a good direct, I think overall can't avoid the fact that at least I was disappointed. Not because what we saw was bad. I was disappointed because I thought at least like Hollow Knight was some fun and new we could talk about that's been rumored forever. And Hades 2 has been talked about.
You know what?
It's they're playing. Beat'em played it last night in stream because he has an early access early access copy of the game.
I mean, that's one I
saw
thought.
A couple minutes of that. Check it out.
I thought afterwards, like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that before. Like when I was watching it, that would have been a huge surprise for me if they would have put that in there just because I completely forgot about the game.
Yeah, and honestly, why didn't they? If they're promoting an early access thing right now, what better way to just take some promotion out of that and get some promotion out of Nintendo putting out an indie direct? I mean, that kind of baffles me that it wasn't just a mention in there, even at the end.
Nothing.
Just at the end,
not a thing.
Nothing. Just bizarre. And whose fault is that? Nintendo's? The developers themselves?
I don't know. I don't know how they go about doing that. How do they pick like what's going to be in the indie direct and what's going to? I mean, I'm sure these people have to pay, right?
I'm sure that they got to pay some money to get in there. I'm sure. Either that, maybe not though. For the indie stuff, maybe not because I don't know. If Nintendo has the charitable side, maybe they're just like, this is going to benefit us because indie sales help drive our platform.
It's true.
So maybe we're investing in you by giving you free promotion, and in return, what are they getting in return? Nintendo's getting sales of games, I guess.
Yeah. They get a cut of everything, so yeah, I guess so. I mean, either way, whatever. It was cool. If Nintendo's not going to put out any of their own games, at least they're giving us other people's.
Yeah. Speaking of things that Nintendo won't be giving us, they're not going to be attending Gamescom, which I think is notable.
It is. I agree.
It is predictable, but notable still because. Obviously, it's predictable because we already know. Drip and I have been talking about this for months. We were on top of this before other people were on top of it. That Nintendo, ever since that rumor that seemed to be accurate instantaneously, that the Switch 2 is pushed to next year, ever since that rumor that seemingly all but confirmed, dead silence from Nintendo. Dead silence. Only thing they've been talking about has been Princess Peach and Thousand Year Door, and Luigi mentioned 2 dates. But essentially virtual silence on anything new.
When there's not going to be anything new.
Let's before we get to like in the future from now, let's talk about like what we've seen already, what's already happened in 2024. Drip, I can count on one hand how many announcements Nintendo has made in 2024, which by the way, in just a few more days is 5 months old. We'll have been in 2024 for 5 months in just a few days. And I can count on my one fist how many things Nintendo has talked about. Nothing. They've talked about nothing new, to be specific. Obviously, Princess Peach was, at the time, early in this year, was not out yet. So you could say that was technically new. But what I'm saying is things that have been announced
previously, previously announced things.
In this year,
talked about,
we're no longer early in 2024. It's been 5 months old now. 5 months of nothing new. And that trend will seemingly be continuing.
I mean, till at least what?
Well, this Gamescom's in September, and they're not there.
Okay, they're not there.
Or August or September, and they're not there. So why aren't they there?
Here's the thing.
If they have something to show, just bring a fucking Tears of the Kingdom statue like they have the other. Bring a Princess Peach statue.
I don't think they want to bring things like that to places like that anymore, to be honest.
Why do you think that?
Like the backdoor stuff where they're showing developers things and this, and I don't think they want that anywhere near any of those places because of what happened with all those leaks about people seeing the Breath of the Wild in 4K with no loading screens and the Matrix demo and all that shit that was running on Switch 2 equivalent hardware, not the actual thing, but what they were playing. I think I don't think they want to chance any other situation that could turn into another one of those.
That's a really good point, Drip. And to back you, sorry, my dryer's going off. And to back you up on that, I've lost my train of thought because my dryer is very loud in my eardrums. That's my fault. I did that.
Well,
the leak, the lawsuit is where I was getting to. The lawsuit from Tears of the Kingdom, where all the pirated copies got out before the game was even posted. Not that that's the same thing, but it's along the same lines of they're trying to.
It's just all building on top of everything. Yeah,
they're trying to protect They're trying to protect their IPs and their games and their surprises. So it is a surprise when it comes out. So kind of going off what you said, they don't want to risk anything that shouldn't be out there that they deem not worthy of being out there yet. They don't want to risk any of that information getting out too early.
Well, plus, what are they going to show?
Comms.
What are they going to bring?
Well, that's the thing, Drip. If they were attending, they'd have something to show, even if it's something that's on the way out. I guess if you think about it like this, they would only bring stuff. They wouldn't promote an old game unless it's like an evergreen game, like a Smash Bros.
Or Mario Kart, something like that. Or do like a fun tournament there or something. I don't know.
And maybe they were like, we don't really want to bring any of those right now. We're not really promoting any tournaments or anything right now. So their thought process is, well, we also have nothing. And this could be a little link into the future. Maybe we're not hearing anything new until the fall, because if there was something, we're hitting summer, or we're going to get to summer soon, okay? And if there was something new to promote in the summertime, it would be a Gamescom. If nothing else, just as a little reminder that Nintendo does something. They produce business in 2024. Just something, okay? But the fact that they're not going to be there tells you maybe we're not hearing anything new until after Gamescom.
Yeah, I think whatever announcement they have prepared for the Switch 2 is coming after that. That's why they're not going there, because they don't want to risk it being compromised before that. And it doesn't matter. Shit from the factory we're gonna see something eventually. It's gonna happen. The closer and closer we get to this, we're gonna start seeing factory leaks and shells and weird stuff pop up, and we won't know if it's real or not until we get the actual thing in our hand. But we got the Switch Lite shells way early. Yeah. Way before they announced it.
That was BG before Geeb.
Yeah, and it was real. It was real because we saw the pictures of it. I think it was a yellow one, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, everyone was like, maybe looks legit. Nobody knows. But then once it came out, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely what that was for sure, 100%. Mm-hmm. So that could happen. But again, like you go to things like this to not only to talk to other developers and do the closed door things, but you're wanting to take games to these things. You want something for the people to be involved in while they're there. Yeah. And they just don't have anything. Even if let's say they have I don't know. We talked last week. Was it last week or the week before about the possibility of like, what if there is a holiday game, a new game, and it's like a new 2D Zelda? Yeah, you would have that. And then whatever else, ports, remakes, because that's all we're getting. We're not getting anything. We may get one new thing, which still is like way up in the air. The big thing could be a port. You know what I mean? And it makes no sense to go promote a port like that if that's all you got.
Yeah, and I want to talk about, we got some more stuff we want to talk about, and I want to talk about that, what Nintendo, possibly could bring to the table this year. Before I do, though, I want to talk about our podcast reviews again. I said I was going to read the rest. We're going to do the rest. And then from now on, I'm going to read brand new stuff every week. I want to see a new 5-star review from somebody who's listening right now. I see listeners. I know you guys download this thing. So leave us a review. We'd really appreciate it. Let's read another one that came out. This review was in February 2023. Again,
all right.
More recent. Vanessa Moon, thank you very much, Vanessa Moon, for leaving a podcast review. Amazing podcast. It's always a good time, and I feel like I'm part of the conversation that goes on. Always authentic and fun to listen to. I look forward to every episode. Thank you, Vanessa Moon. That's such a kind review. Thank you so much. Dude's a monster. Leaving one earlier this year. Great fun. Great show. Very entertaining. Very entertaining hosts and conversations. Always a blast to hear from your guys' takes. Thank you, dude. And the last one, it's a me healthy. It's a me healthy. I'm guessing I'm gonna read it like that. 5 stars. Love the podcast. Drip and Geeb are very entertaining. This is my go-to Nintendo gaming podcast. Thank you, because that's heavy competition. We appreciate that. My favorite segment is Beer of the Week, which we've gotten away from recently, and I want to bring it back, but we want to bring it back in the pre-shows or after shows. I think it doesn't quite fit the actual show itself, but of course, our pre-show and after show is part of our show. It just lives on YouTube exclusively. So,
yeah,
we talked about our Beer of the Week.
Dude,
Wild Sour. I'm drinking right now.
I'm like halfway through this. I have 2 of these. The other one is not going to be opened. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. If you guys want to hear what we're talking about there, our Beers of the Week, we talk about that in the pre-show. Make sure to hop on YouTube, check out that little ditty over there. And one more thing, Drip, before we get going. We have a sponsor for today. Today's sponsor is DOYOKY, Drip. Drip, first-party Nintendo Joy-Cons are amazing pieces of technology, but unfortunately, they're just too uncomfortable to play for long periods of time. Thankfully, DOYOKY reached out to us and gave us what possibly could be the solution for it, Drip. The DOYOKY Epoch game controller are Joy-Con style controllers that feature ergonomic, comfortable rubber grips, Hall-effect joysticks with swappable stick caps, 6-color LED lights, wake-up and turbo function. They are also wireless. They have gyro. They got programmable back buttons, and they have different lighting modes on them. Drip, I know you've been working with Binbox/DOYOKY for a while now. You have firsthand with their experience with many of their products, and even have given them direct input and feedback on many of their products pre and post-release.
Yeah, including this one. And I am so glad that I did get to put a little bit of input into to these ones. And we talked about them on this show, in my video. They are super comfortable. I love the way they look. I love the way they feel. They've lived on my Switch since I got them. I haven't taken them off. They are the most comfortable you can get. And again, the LEDs, normally not a thing I like with the RGB, but I'm into it. I'm into it, Geeb. I like them. Keeping them.
Very good. You could find the DOYOKY Epoch game controller with the links down in our description. Make sure to check out there to get 10% off of your controllers with the code DRIP Media Gaming. Space is all involved in there. Make sure to use the code DRIP Media Gaming. Is that all caps, Drip?
It is capital. Each word is capitalized.
Each word
not
capitalized.
All capital
spaces. Sounds good. So use code DRIP Media Gaming to get 10% off and use the link down below to do that. Thank you, DOYOKY, for sponsoring today's episode. Drip.
Yeah. What?
Man, there's so many directions we could take this, but all kind of leading the same way. My next note here is not exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm going to say it. What are the easy titles in 2024 they can put out? And are there anything?
I'm not allowed to talk about those.
I'm going to give you a mulligan right now.
Okay. The easies. I mean, the easy ones. I mean, it's literally, and it's not just those two. It's not just Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. It's all the other stuff that's still sitting back on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Because it didn't sell there. They brought everything else over. They basically ported their library over and charged more money for it. Because they were like, no, we're going to, they gave themselves a mulligan on that one.
Yes.
We're gonna go ahead and just redo it again with all these games. They could do that with Star Fox Zero. They could do it. What's the Xenoblade game?
Chronicles X.
Yeah, that one would be perfect. And I mean, now's a great time for that one. I mean, there's 4 right there they could do. Easy. I mean,
well, okay, but where are they? Not like necessarily what are they? That is what I asked you. But what I want to get at is where are they?
No, I mean,
why are they not here? It's ridiculous. 5 months.
But they might be. I know we're kind of. I know
because
I know.
They're not, unless they're shadow dropping, which is still possible. Unless they're shadow dropping later, they would need to be announced now. I mean, Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2 were talked about last year, months and months ago, and they're not even out yet. So that tells you that they need time to get these out, at least to build up the hype. And again, unless they're shadow dropping, we ain't getting anything this year.
Nah, I think you're wrong there because there's still time.
There is still time, Drip, but here I'm just ahead of the curve, okay? Because yes, there's still time. There's 8 months left in the year. Of course, any reasonable person will go, I mean, they could 2 months from now they could put something out. What I'm saying is, we have no signs. They're giving us no signs of life. It's as if we're trying to get Nintendo to wake up from near death, and like the pulse is not there.
It's like 2020 all over again.
It's really weird to me.
So
that they seemingly have died. When 2024 came around, as soon as they saw that they needed to delay their console, they're just like they had no plan and were like, well, we're not going to make a plan. So we're just going to do nothing. It just seems like what they're going to do.
But listen to this. Same thing you're saying, but what if that is actually what's happening? Maybe the reason we're not hearing anything right now is because those plans did have to change last minute, the way that it sounds like they may have, where they had to push it to 2025. And now they are like, okay, we do have to fill the rest of the year with some stuff because we're not going to have this console out when we thought. So we need some stuff. And maybe that's what they're trying to do behind the scenes right now, is just get that lineup ready to go. We could still get a direct. We could get an actual first-party direct in June. That's still plenty of time for stuff to come out, September, August, November.
Yeah.
I mean, even into like January of the next year. I mean, or February, sure. Whatever.
Possible.
And I mean, then, maybe we do get the announcement, the Switch 2 or whatever, late September, October, something like that. I mean, October's when they did the Switch. October's when they announced the Switch, and it was out March. So they could easily follow that schedule, just like they did with the Switch, and do the same exact thing. But then from then on, as we've talked about before, start doing kind of what they did with the 3DS and the Switch. Anything going further, they're kind of going to talk about both. The games that were announced for the Switch will kind of be talked about as Switch games that will also work on the new system. But then there's also, these new games that are Switch 2 games only.
And I believe that because one of my theories is that they're going to turn the Switch branding into a brand, not a product. And in how we used to think of Nintendo back in the day as the NES, the SNES, even our 64, those were our Nintendos, right? That's what we played our games on. Just as that was the branding at that point for Nintendo, I think the new branding is Switch. And I think if they're smart, in my opinion, they would continue that. So, with that said, they could continue to release Switch games and eventually reveal the Switch 2's branding, logo, etc. But it all falls under the brand of Switch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like
it applies,
Sony. But it's, it's always been the PlayStation, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. Nintendo has never done that, but it's possible. I mean, we are in different times, and they seem to be catching up a little bit, at least as far as like what they need to be doing from a marketing standpoint, especially after the terrible thing that happened with the Wii U. I think they really, really pay attention to a lot of that stuff now that they didn't really used to pay a lot of attention to, or just maybe think that they knew and then realized, hey, maybe we don't know everything.
Yeah. I mean, but here's my point, Drip. Again, unless they're shadow dropping something in September, October, November, right?
They can do that.
They need to be announcing yesterday, like to get ready for the build-up that they like to do for their games. If there was something they're going to put out in this calendar year, with the exception of the next 2 months, they're out of time. Like they need to,
but they have the next 2 months. They have it.
They do, but we've been saying for months already that they have time. We said,
but
guarantee you in January. I guarantee you we were saying we could hear something in April. I guarantee you, April's almost over now.
I'm not worried about April, dude. I'm talking about June. June people keep saying, oh, April Direct. Oh, now it's canceled. That's stupid. I don't know why anybody would say that, because they've never done that. They don't do that. They don't do Directs in April. March, sometimes, maybe. February, lots of times.
Notice how our channel, Drip, notice how we have not posted a Direct rumor video in April. Because
it's not going to happen.
I never believed it once. And you and I had a conversation at one point where you were thinking we should do one. And I was like,
yeah, no, and you're right.
Because I said I don't want to do a Drip. I don't want to do it.
Why? Because we know what we're going to say. No, that's not going to happen. That's stupid.
And look what happened.
It's not.
There's still 2 weeks left in April, I guess people could say, the critics could say.
No, we got the Indie Direct. It ain't fucking happening. But June is a time when they always have a Direct. That's a very normal time for Nintendo to have a Direct. February, very normal time for them to have a Direct.
Yep.
September, very normal time for them to have a Direct.
Yep.
And I mean, even if we don't get, we'll know. We're going to get something, I guarantee it. In June, we'll get something.
Well,
whether we get another partner showcase.
I was gonna say, when you say something, we don't need something. We need something very specific.
We do, yeah. We need something specific.
We need a first-party direct. That's what we need.
Well, and like I'm saying, we'll get something. I don't know if we're going to get that.
So when I say we, typically I'm thinking of the consumer. That's when I think we. I'm thinking about myself, of course.
Fucking me. I need it.
I said I'm thinking of myself, of course, but I'm also thinking about the consumer. Like we, as a consumer, need something, but forget about us for a second. Look at it from the lens, from a business perspective, from Nintendo. And I have a direction for this. You had brought something up. We're going to talk about in a second. But from a direction standpoint, or a business standpoint, from Nintendo, they need something. They need something. Money. How do they get their money? By putting games out. Yes, we got Peach, but that's not going to be a big seller. 1,000 Year Door, I'd be surprised if it went past 5 million this year, which is a good number. Don't get me wrong. But it's not going to go over 5. 5 would be a fantastic number because RPG got 3, and the last Paper Mario game got like 2 or 3, somewhere in that range. So I'm thinking 5 would be a great number. But think about this: the Switch, in the Switch's life, they're used to having multiple 10+ million.
1,000 Year Door is going to do pretty good.
Like I said, pretty good is going to be 5. It's not going to go past 5. I really don't. Not because it's not going to be good, but because like we're looking at what RPG did, which there's a lot of hype on RPG, but it did kind of get overshadowed a little bit by Wonder. So
by Wonder, yeah, for
a little bit. But also look at the last Paper Mario game. It was a brand new one. This is not 1,000 Year Door is not brand new. This one's brand new. I think saying it could double it is saying something. I think it can double Origami King, but that's still
1,000 Year Door is not brand new.
No, I'm saying Origami King was brand new.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's going to do more than Origami King. I think it will.
Right. And I'm saying, I at maximum, I'm thinking it could double Origami King, which is impressive. But doubling it only means around 5 million. Like I said, that's my number. Go ahead.
I don't know if it's going to be that. I don't know if it's going to be that much. I think it'll do better. I think it'll be probably the best-selling. It'll be the best-selling Paper Mario on the Switch.
Yeah, but my point is, Rip, is that that's not impressive for Nintendo in terms of what they normally do money-wise to make their shareholders happy.
Yeah.
They usually do so much more in sales, and why they won't just do anything more right now
because
is
they don't need
me.
to.
And I want to get to that.
Don't need to.
We're going to get to your point, and I think it's a really good one. We're gonna that's kind of where we're going to end, honestly. But here's my thing that we talked about on the phone during my walk today, or I think it was my walk and you were listening. And I've said this before. This is not breaking news. That should be our episode titles for every single episode in 2024.
This is not breaking news.
GameCube on Switch. It just seems like the biggest and easiest thing that they could do that makes complete sense to put out right now. Like tomorrow. Like there's no... And I'll let you talk.
I know. Go ahead.
I may talk and then you'll talk.
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
GameCube emulation on Nintendo Switch Online. They can, if they want, they can hold back the stuff like the Metroid games because they're going to be reposting. They're going to be doing those again. Obviously, the Paper Mario games are already getting reposted. They don't need to put that one out right now. There's stuff that they can. There's plenty of stuff that they have plans for the Switch I'm sure, to put out that they can hold back for the Switch Online right now. That's great. Hold back on those games. It's not like we get all the big ones anyway, especially from the start, let alone forever. We don't get the big ones anyway. Give us the small stuff that we want. The indie stuff, or the third party stuff, and some of the lesser first party stuff. Just give us GameCube Online. It's been rumored forever. I actually predicted it before we got Game Boy Advance, but we got Game Boy Advance instead, which I thought that would be the one that they wouldn't do because technically Game Boy Advance is newer than GameCube. Technically, right? I think. If I'm thinking about either way, it doesn't matter. I thought GameCube was coming out 2 years ago. And it's still not out today. And with a 2024 of barren Switch new things, besides stuff they announced in 2023 that are just now trickling out this year, just give it to us. Throw us a couple emulated games. It'll make us happy. Announce 6 titles. 3 coming out right now. 3 coming out over the next 9 months or whatever. The next 8 months. It's easy money. Just do it. Rip?
They don't have to. They don't need to. They do not need to do that. And honestly, by doing any of that right now, they are just taking away hype and taking away anything that they want to do to make the Switch 2 the best they can make it and give it the most they can give it to hype it up the best. We're done. You know that. We're done with the Switch. We're done. And they don't need, I mean, do we want all that stuff? Yeah. But why put GameCube on this when they can hold GameCube back for the online service? And I know the online service is a completely different thing. That is just going to roll over. So that stays. Like, but why bring it out now when the Switch is just kind of starting to fade off here? And it's actually not. It's actually not. The sales are still there.
You got some numbers, Drip?
I mean, I don't have like concrete numbers, but their forecast for 2024 for their profits, just what they're going to be making, are almost exactly the same as 2023's.
That's crazy.
Almost, I mean, we're talking like a 0.3% difference in profits over year over year.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I didn't expect you to say that, because that's mind-blowing, because let's not forget what came out in 2023.
Yeah.
The fastest selling Zelda game of all time.
Yeah. And they are saying that they are forecasting that they will basically stay the same as they are now.
Who's forecasting that? Who's forecasting that?
Nintendo themselves. This is what they've told their shareholders. I mean, dude, they have to be honest with their shareholders.
I did not expect this. We need to take this in a new direction then. If Nintendo is saying that themselves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
They have plans.
We'll get there.
They have plans.
Yes, we're going.
They have plans.
There.
There's no way they don't have plans.
Something's happening.
Coming.
Yes, that's why I keep saying.
No, not just something. Something ginormous. Because last year something ginormous happened, and in order for that to happen again this year, something ginormous happens, and that's not Paper Mario.
Well, you have to remember this too. We're talking about Nintendo's fiscal year, not 2024.
Fair enough. Okay.
So you're talking January, February, March of 2025 as well.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair enough.
So that could include Switch 2 sales.
Yeah. It doesn't just end in December. I get you.
Right. So there's that too. There's that part of it too. But they're going to keep, like I always say, they're not turning the engines off. They're going to keep the motor running. We're going to keep going. They just don't need to give us anything right now. All they need to do is just keep these. And I know you're saying like, oh, they're used to putting out these titles that sell, this crazy amount, this, that. And we're talking about, oh, well, maybe it'll sell 5 million copies. Do you know how many game publishers out there would give both of their arms to be able to say their game sold 5 million copies?
Oh, I know.
And Nintendo does that shit on a Tuesday.
Oh, I know.
Like, whatever.
It wasn't meant to disregard the smaller games.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was
meant to scale based off of what Nintendo normally does with their stuff. And
we're 7 years deep though. It's like, right now all they got to do is just maintain, and they don't have to do that. They're one of the richest companies in Japan right now.
Yes, I did know that.
Like they are good. They don't got to do shit. Like if they're smart, they'll give us the few things, the few little crumbs, just keep breadcrumbing us to keep us interested.
So can I tell you where my head's at? And I agree with you now. Now that I've heard everything you have to say, I agree with you that they don't have to, as much as that makes me upset.
I know, it sucks.
Logically, I have to agree with you, though. There's too much logic in what you're saying. I forget what I was going to say, actually. But yeah, I mean, you're totally right. Like, you're totally right. They're creating, here's what I was going to say. They're creating demand.
Yes.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking of it like this. They're losing them. Them being the consumer. They haven't put anything out recently. They're losing them. Now they're losing me, but they're not losing me to get off of Nintendo. They're losing me my interest in them immediately. But that doesn't mean that I still don't have over interest. And that's the thing. They got us by the balls.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what I'm missing. There's so many Nintendo fans out there that want the games and want the consoles.
Is what you're missing.
That we're exactly. Throw me a Skittle, please. My dog loves Skittles. You give her Skittles, she loves them.
Like, oh man, I'm back. Let me hang out here. Yeah.
Like they have us by the balls, okay? And they don't need to do anything for us right now. As much as that sucks, they need to do nothing. What they need to do is create, uneasiness with the fans because they want more, and they're making us foam at the mouth. They're drying us out, Drip. They're not giving us any water or food
honestly,
for 3 days.
Think about this too. They really are. They're like, how about a direct? That's a partner direct. Here comes a direct in Indie World Showcase. It's like, okay.
Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, not HD, not remastered, because we're tricking you to make you think it's a new game. It's not. It's old. You probably played it already.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, yeah, to the person who doesn't really, it doesn't say remake, remaster, anything on it. Yeah, that's also a very interesting tactic they're doing right now, which I find very interesting. This could be a perfect setup for them, honestly. If they hold all this stuff back and they do the breadcrumbing right, because I mean, you said it yourself. Interest right now for you fading. Tell me how pumped you would be if they were like Wind Waker HD dropping in September.
I'd be over the moon.
Crazy happy.
I'd be like streaming Zelda every day.
Yeah. What if they said, I mean, my God, even like Star Fox Zero, I'd be like, yes, like, that's awesome.
I would too.
Better, like all the stupid shit's gonna be out of it. It's just gonna be a good regular Star Fox game because it can't
by the way, have 0 of those in the Switch as is.
Yeah,
there is no Star Fox game.
No, yeah, the closest thing is that Starlink Battle for Atlas.
It's not a Star Fox game, but
not a Star Fox game, but Star Fox is in it.
Right. Point is though,
still not a Star Fox game.
Star Fox game isn't a single one.
They could do that easy, and those little things are enough to just get you to the next place where we need you to be. Just hang there a little bit. Now come on over here until they are like, boom, there it is. Here's everything. Here's a bunch of new games that are coming out over this first year. Big direct, big announcements there. I don't know. You get your GameCube stuff at that direct. They really just hammer it right at the beginning.
It does make sense to be the first announcement for because of course we pretty much know all the Switch Online stuff that's coming copy paste on and it's going to stay on the Switch as it is, but it's going to also copy paste into the Switch
online
too.
Service as it is right now is just going to be like an Xbox Live type of thing at this point. It's like what everybody else has. It's just
so even they don't have to put it on Switch 2 Switch right now because they'll put it on Switch 2 and it'll end up also on regular Switch, or it's an exclusive that you need to get the new console and have Switch Online to get it. But either way, that'd be a good first online console to drop. Be a big, great new console to drop.
It would. And maybe, oh man, let's get into the weeds. Can we get into the weeds for just a second?
Sure.
And maybe, just maybe, this
do you need to play music with this? I feel like you need to play music for this one.
No. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Maybe this is where finally we start seeing the first different style Joy-Con from Nintendo for the Switch 2, because they dropped the GameCube online, but instead of dropping the GameCube controller, they give us the official Nintendo version of the GameCube Joy-Cons.
You lost me. That's not happening.
Come on!
I want it.
And then we actually start seeing first-party Nintendo Pro controller Joy-Con. We get the stuff from Nintendo that we thought we were going to get with the original Switch. Huh? Okay, we're in the weeds. It's fine. Let's get back out.
We're hanging out in the weeds.
Okay, it's fine. I brought bug spray. We're good.
Okay.
We can leave too.
All right, we're good. Oh man. Well, I think that's kind of where the conclusion we came to here is that's good information, dude. That's big. The fact that Nintendo is forecasting
I'm
this
on
fiscal
their
year,
site looking at this and looking at their annual reports, all their stuff right here, earnings release. I mean, financial data. It's all right here.
Because I'm sitting here like, the sky is falling. Like there's nothing happening this year. Business wise, they're doing it. They're planning terribly. But you're saying actually Nintendo is planning to have just as good of a year this year, starting in March of this year, 2024. As they were in the previous fiscal year, which is saying something because there's diddly squat this year. So something absolutely massive or multiple mid things have to happen this year. And we already can conclude there are not going to be multiple mid things because they would have already, mid things being like a Porter remake, like a Skyward Sword or a Wind Waker or Twilight Princess. Multiple of those, would have been thrown out already because they would have been already announced and would be coming out soon because they're not going to just drop them all at one time. That's not happening because it's already April. Like we said, 2 months to go, but we can already assume that they're not dropping little breadcrumbs, mid breadcrumbs even throughout the rest of the year. I think they're literally done. I think I think Cheesy's eating that chip
Oh, he's
Big
eating
time.
that chip, probably.
He's eating that chip.
Probably.
Because
don't think
I
we're
would
getting
say
anything new.
either late this year or more likely to me, I think January, February of 2024, they're announcing this new console and it to be coming out just a couple months after its announcement. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I still think October is probably the time. I got numbers. Let me tell you some numbers about this. I just pulled this back up. I found what I was looking at. Okay, so operating profit ratio for, let's just, 2022, profit, 35% flat, okay? Came down 2023 to 31.5%, okay? Their forecast for 2024 is 31.3%.
How? They dropped Tears of the Kingdom in 2023.
Listen to this. This is in yen.
So 20 million copies in 3 days.
Net sales in 2023 in yen, pretty much 1.6 million yen.
Say that number again?
1.6 1,601,677 million yen. Okay.
For what?
That is net sales.
Net sales. Okay.
Okay. Forecast for 2024. 1.63 million yen. Same. They are not expecting to drop whatsoever. They are expecting to stay directly on course.
I remind you as well, not just Tears of the Kingdom, they also dropped the Tears of the Kingdom Switch. Okay? Didn't they drop the Splatoon Switch in that fiscal year? I think so. That was the same fiscal year.
2022?
2023. That fiscal year.
Yeah, I don't know. My God. Well, I mean, even, dude, it's nuts. 2020 was.
Yeah.
I mean, even 2020 was 1.3 million. 2021 was 1.75 million. So it went up and then started coming back down 2022. And then 2023, 2024, we're just kind of cruising along. They're killing it, man. They ain't got to do shit.
What they got to do is build that insane hype for us mega fans, so we blow the fuck up whenever we get this announcement on the Switch too.
I mean,
which they're succeeding.
Don't forget about the Mario movie, the Zelda movie, the theme parks, all the other. I mean, dude, there's so many pieces of this pie now, and like where they're going. I mean, they're fine, and they're not going to forget about us, hopefully.
And we're not going to forget about you. You make sure to leave a 5-star review or else we will be angry. You don't want to see me when I'm angry. I'm worse than the Hulk. Leave us a 5-star review. We'll read on the show. Next week, I expect to read at least one more. If I don't read one more next week, I'm going to cry on the show. Drip's going to find some sad music. He's going to press the button. I'm going to cry. So leave that 5-star review. Yeah, but for serious, guys, thank you for listening to this episode. We're going to go to the after show for now, hang out with the people in the stream for a little bit. The rest of you guys, we're going to catch you next week.
See ya.